If you run a home care agency, you already know that the moment a new client calls, the clock starts. That first interaction sets the tone for the entire relationship. But for most agency owners, the client intake and onboarding process is one of the most time-consuming, detail-heavy workflows in the entire business. And when you're managing it yourself or splitting it across staff who are already stretched thin, things fall through the cracks. Follow-ups get delayed, paperwork gets missed, and a family that was ready to move forward starts looking at other agencies. I'm Jeff, CRO and co-founder of ClearDesk. We help home care agencies build dedicated remote teams that handle the operational work so owners and their staff can focus on care delivery and growth. Today, I want to walk you through exactly how a virtual assistant, what we call a remote team member, can take over your client intake and onboarding process and make it faster, more consistent, and more professional than it's ever been. Let's start with what client intake actually involves, because it's more involved than most people realize. When a potential client or their family reaches out to a home care agency, that single inquiry kicks off a multi-step process. Someone needs to respond promptly, gather initial information about the client's needs, location, and care requirements, schedule an assessment, send intake forms, follow up if paperwork isn't returned, coordinate between the family, the clinical team, and the scheduling department, and make sure nothing gets dropped. In a well-run agency, all of that happens quickly and smoothly. In a stretched agency, it becomes a bottleneck that costs you clients you worked hard to bring in. A dedicated remote team member can own the majority of that workflow from start to finish. Here's what that looks like in practice. The moment an inquiry comes in, whether it's by phone, email, or web form, your remote team member responds. They introduce themselves as part of your team, gather the initial information using your intake script, and record everything accurately. Whether that's your CRM, your home care software, or a combination of both. They answer general questions about your services, your coverage area, and your process. They set the right expectations with the family and schedule the next step, usually an in-home assessment. That speed matters more than most agency owners realize. Families looking for home care are often in an urgent situation. They may be calling 3 or 4 agencies at the same time. The agency that responds first professionally and with clear next steps almost always wins that client. A remote team member dedicated to intake means your agency is always first to respond, even during busy periods. After the initial inquiry is handled, your remote team member manages the paperwork side of onboarding. They send intake forms, service agreements, and any required authorization documents. They track which documents have been returned and which are still outstanding. They follow up with families who haven't completed their paperwork professionally and consistently. Without your care coordinator having to remember to chase it, they organize completed documents into your system so that by the time the care plan is being built, everything is already in order. This is one of the highest value things a remote team member does for a home care agency, because incomplete onboarding documentation is one of the most common reasons care start dates get delayed. When a dedicated person owns that tracking and follow-up, delays drop significantly and families get their care started faster. Your remote team member also supports internal coordination during onboarding. Once a client is confirmed and their care plan is in progress, there's a handoff that needs to happen. They facilitate that communication, making sure the scheduling team has preferences and care requirements for agencies using home care software platforms like WellSky, Alayacare, or AxisCare. Your remote team member can be trained to work directly in those systems. They create profiles, enter care plan details, and over time, they add institutional knowledge that makes your operation run better. Let's talk about what this actually frees up for your internal team. When a remote team member owns intake administration, your office staff get their time back for high-touch activities. Assessment scheduling, caregiver matching, client relationships, those require your team's direct involvement. Right now, many of those people are spending hours on paperwork that a trained remote team member can handle just as well. Rachel M., Director of Operations at Senior Helpers, said her ClearDesk remote team member has become another member of the family. She speaks to clients with respect and compassion and has truly been an asset to the business. Now, let me address the concern I hear most often from home care owners when we talk about this. They worry that a remote team member won't understand the emotional nuance. Families reaching out are often stressed or grieving. At ClearDesk, we receive over 55,000 applications every quarter. Less than 0.5% make it through. We screen specifically for communication skills, empathy, and professionalism. Our team members are primarily based in the Philippines, where there is deep cultural alignment with U.S. service standards and a genuine service-oriented mindset. Tom M., owner of Interim HealthCare, said his ClearDesk scheduler has consistently outperformed most employees he had in that role previously. ClearDesk provides ongoing performance management and handles all back-end HR and payroll. Your agency gets a reputation for being organized, responsive, and professional, which drives referrals. Remote team members start at $2,500 a month. We hold a 4.9 out of 5 on Trustpilot. If you want to see what this looks like for your agency, the link to book a call with our team is in the description.